Hey guys, I'm Nate from Nate Bakes Broadway, and this week I will be creating a dessert based on the smash hit musical Hamilton. Hamilton is a show that follows the life of Alexander Hamilton. It was written by Lin-Manuel Miranda and follows Hamilton from his time when he grows up in the tropics to when he becomes a founding father in the colonial United States. What I find so compelling about the show is not just the catchy music, don't get me wrong, I love the music, but it's its unexpected nature. Who would have thought one of the biggest hit musicals of all time would be about Alexander Hamilton? Let me just say, I didn't. But for my dessert, I tried to incorporate his childhood of the tropics into his more adulthood in the United States. So I'm making a coconut cake covered in a condensed milk sauce on top with some toasted coconut, caramelized pineapple, and chewy pineapple chips. But I tried to infuse the flavors of Great Britain at the time, which was a colonial power, with a Earl Grey simple syrup that'll soak the cake, and that flavor will kind of meld with the coconut cake. But I think it's time to get started. Let's do this coconut cake. This coconut cake recipe is super duper simple. We're just gonna take our dry ingredients with our flour, our sugar, our baking powder, not soda, baking powder. I've made that mistake before, and salt. Don't worry about the measurements. The recipe will be attached in the caption below, so just have fun and follow along. And then we're just gonna mix up the dry ingredients, just super simple mix. And then why this is so simple is it's really just one bowl, because we're just gonna take the wet ingredients and just incorporate them into this bowl of dry ingredients. So we're gonna take, most importantly, the coconut milk, and then also canola oil, or really any type of unflavored oil, so vegetable oil works, avocado oil, even coconut oil would work, and then 2 egg whites. And if you have it and you really want to pump up some coconut flavor, you can also add coconut extract, but I find that the coconut milk gives it enough of a flavor and coconut extract is a little too artificial. But you know, whatever floats your boat. I remember when I first saw Hamilton, I was pretty young. I really didn't want to fall asleep, but you know, of course I fell asleep. And when I fell asleep, it was during the Reynolds pamphlet. And I swear to God, I woke up and I was like, why is Hamilton having an affair with Peggy? And my parents were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I don't understand. And it was the same actress, and I really did not get it because I'd fallen asleep during a key song where I might have found out what was going on. But I do remember coming out of the show, even after sleeping through one of my favorite songs now, so disappointed in myself, is that it was just so amazing. I came out and was like, wow, history, that's really fun. I can't wait till history tomorrow in school. And I think that is part of what makes the show so great, is its ability to bring you in even though you might not have known anything about Hamilton, and you might not have even really been interested in him. And I think that's what I love so much about it. But then, the cakes, we're actually gonna be baking them in muffin pans. So, super simple. You can also do it in a cupcake pan if you don't have a muffin tin. I did make my dad go out and buy muffin tins, so just saying. And we're just gonna take, again, like some type of spray oil that you'd use on a pan. And we're just gonna make sure you get all the corners and the bottom of each and every one of the tins. And then we're just gonna make sure that we get, as well as we can, an equal amount of batter in each one. Just filling each one about, I would say, 2/3 of the way up, because otherwise they kind of overflow. Perfect. Our next step is to do the condensed milk sauce, so let's do it. Into your pan, we'll put our condensed milk, sugar, and vanilla extract. If you really want to go all out, you can of course use vanilla bean. You can also use evaporated milk instead of condensed milk in this recipe, but be careful because it's not sweetened, so you'll have to add more sugar. The sauce will be done when all the sugar is dissolved, and the sauce looks well combined and thin. Before serving, the sauce might separate, so mix right before use. For our caramelized pineapple, we're going to take our cubed pineapple, put it in a hot pan, and sprinkle over our brown sugar. From there, we'll either add rum, bourbon, or here I used orange liqueur. It adds a nice, sweet, citrusy flavor. Then we will mix until the sugar starts to dissolve. From there, we will continue to mix for about 10 minutes until the pineapple becomes soft and the sauce begins to boil. Near the end of the recipe, we'll add our butter and we will stir until the butter has melted. And then we'll have finished our caramelized pineapple recipe. For our Earl Grey simple syrup, we'll take a regular cup of strongly brewed Earl Grey tea and add equal parts sugar to Earl Grey tea. From there, we will stir the sugar into the Earl Grey tea until the sugar begins to dissolve. Once the mixture is clear and all the sugar is dissolved, our Earl Grey simple syrup will be ready to use. The last two things we need to do are the toasted coconut and the chewy pineapple chips. They can be done together because they're both super duper simple. For the toasted coconut, all we need is sweetened shredded coconut, and we're just gonna lie it on a pretty even layer on our tray. Just let it toast pretty evenly and you don't burn the edges, because I have done that. And then for the chewy pineapple chips, we're really just gonna take sliced pineapple. I did it two different ways just so I have some options. I did it kind of like in a square kind of piece, so I cut lengthwise on the pineapple and then cut pieces off. Then I also cut a slice off and did little strips. And you're just also gonna spread these out in an even row because you also wanna cook these pretty evenly. And the toasted coconut will probably take less time than the pineapple chips, but don't worry, you could just take the tray out and scrape off the coconut and just leave the pineapple chips in for a little longer. But we're gonna throw these in the oven and then we can get plating. Before you plate, I wanna talk about an amazing organization. The Actors Fund is an organization that continually helps not just theater artists, but film and television and radio and music professionals and so many other industries too. They provide a safety net for so many with offices in Chicago, New York, and LA. They can provide financial assistance, housing, healthcare, insurance, senior care, and so much more. But during the Broadway shutdown and a shutdown of so many other performing industries, they've helped even more, giving over $15 million to over 12,000 different people. The Actors Fund continues to help. But the need continues to grow, and they need your help. If you can't donate, that's totally okay. Raise awareness, spread the word, but if you can donate, there will be a link below, and I would be so thankful. They're an amazing organization doing such amazing things. Okay, now it's time to plate. The last thing we have to do is plate. First thing to do is to cut off the top of your basically cake muffin. And then we're gonna take our Earl Grey simple syrup, a little brush, and just brush it onto the top, and then brush it onto the bottom. Just be generous, we really wanna get that flavor in there. And then we're gonna take our condensed milk sauce, just pour it over the cake. And then on a new, different plate, so that your plate doesn't get dirty, take your cake with sauce. Delicious. A little toasted coconut in a line across the top. And then a little bit of caramelized pineapple. Just, I would say 2 or 3 pieces, depending on how big you cut them. And then just a couple pineapple chips. And then the dessert is complete. Thank you guys so much for watching. And next time we're gonna do Dear Evan Hansen, so stay tuned.